because we think it's better for you. Shapiro and all of these guys, they don't make an effort to do that because they don't feel that way at all. Shut up, cattle. You're a Nazi. Give us the money for our preferred little country, or else we're going to denounce you. Man, those.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Arabian Pleb show. I'm Harrison. I believe it's show number 18. Hope you're all well. Had to start the video with that fucking great monologue from Tucker Carlson. I encourage you to go watch the whole thing. It's amazing, but just right there, it's so fucking good, dude. So good. Shut up, you're a Nazi. Give us money for our preferred little country. I love it. He's fucking hitting the nail on the head. It got me thinking, how did we get here? Like, how is it, why is it that all this Hasbara propaganda is just being so easily smacked down? And no one's buying it. No one's buying what Ben Shapiro's selling, or very few people are buying it. Very few people are buying what any of these Zionists are selling us. Donald Trump himself. You know, like, he is fucking hemorrhaging support right now. And it's all over the Israel issue. It's all over. People can just see, like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be America first while being Israel firster. That's just not how this is going to fucking work. So it got me thinking, like, how did we get here? You know, like, and I think there's so many moments that were a catalyst, and I'd like to go back through some of them. But, you know, like, largely young people aren't watching the corporate news outlets. They're not watching TV to tune into fucking CNN or in Australia, like Channel 9 or Channel 7 or Sky News. Like, no one's watching that crap. I mean, the only people that are probably like fucking dying boomers. That's about it. Where are all the young people? They're on the internet. They're online. They're watching shows like Tucker. They're watching a million other channels on YouTube and Rumble and BitChute, whatever. All these different streaming services, video platforms. There's just so much more variety. It's like more decentralized in terms of like the content creators themselves. So that's where they're at. And what's the conversation happening online? Well, it's fucking people trying to get to the truth. They might not always be getting there, but at least for the most part, the ones who are the most successful, we just know that they're not lying to us. Like I said, Joe Rogan, for example, like Joe Rogan may get some stuff wrong, but we know he's not fucking lying to us. So with that in mind, I just want to go back through like some of the key moments, I think, where young people just totally lost any respect and faith in any of these like corporate news outlets, giving us the truth in some way. Like, it's just it's such a joke now that I think it's like easy to just sort of flippantly say it, but not really, like get to the heart of like what's actually going on. So that's what I'm going to try and do today. All right. So I'm going to go through a few different clips. Let's check them out.
Americans are asking, why do they hate us? They hate what they see right here in this chamber. A democratically elected government. Their leaders are self-appointed. They hate our freedoms, our freedom of religion, our freedom of speech, our freedom to vote and assemble and disagree with each other.
Number one, they hate us for our freedoms. That's the motivating factor of the terrorists, so we were told. So obviously that's a big lie, that the terrorists were motivated by Americans' freedom. Like, that's why they attacked America. So obviously 9/11 was a massive, massive moment in my generation's lifetime and our parents. And, you know, it was so consequential for like new laws that were created, you know, this whole like spying apparatus and the justification for all these foreign conflicts. And so, you know, like, so it's helpful to like know like what's the truth behind all that? What was actually truthful about what happened on 9/11 and what was complete bullshit? What were the lies? And as time went on, the lies just became more and more obvious. It was just becoming so clear that so much of the narrative around 9/11 and the justification used to go and attack Afghanistan, Iraq, and then just the whole war on terrorism era, the dirty war in Syria, the overthrow of Gaddafi in Libya, the war in Yemen, you know, Somalia. So it just led to this like fucking catastrophe of just all these different wars, right? So now, so here's another like critical moment. Here's another critical speech or whatever. Here's another critical moment of George W. Bush.
Fabria.
Mr. President, in your speeches now, you rarely talk or mention Osama bin Laden. Why is that? Also, can you tell the American people if you have any more information, if you know if he is dead or alive? Final part here. Deep in your heart, don't you truly believe that until you find out if he is dead or alive, you won't really eliminate the threat of...
Well, deep in my heart, I know the man's on the run if he's alive at all. And you know, who knows if he's hiding in some cave or not. We hadn't heard from him in a long time. And the idea of focusing on one person is really indicates to me people don't understand the scope of the mission. Terror is bigger than one person. And he's a person who's now been marginalized. His network is, his host government has been destroyed. He's the ultimate parasite who found weakness, exploited it, and met his match. He is, you know, as I mentioned in my speeches, I do mention the fact that this is a fellow who is willing to commit youngsters to their death, and he himself tries to hide, if in fact he's hiding at all. So I don't know where he is. Nor do, you know, I just don't spend that much time on him. Kelly, to be honest with you, I'm more worried about making sure that our soldiers are well supplied, that the strategy is clear, that the coalition is strong, that when we...
Just not that concerned about him. In the words of George W. Bush, we're just not that concerned about him. Terrorism is bigger than just one guy. This statement from George W. Bush was only 6 months after 9/11. Sorry, I had to issue this correction and insert this into the video because I think I said that America had already started attacking Iraq, but that's not true. No, it was literally 6 months after 9/11, and they didn't. The second invasion of Iraq wasn't until 2003. So sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on. And oh yeah, by the way, as I started, like my central point is that like this is why young people do not believe the corporate media, is because they were pushing this bullshit. They were pushing all these lies. They were giving airtime to George W. Bush, allowing him to spew his fucking propaganda and giving him no pushback. There was no follow-up questions. There were no like legitimate criticism of his strategy. And if there was any or any people willing to do that, that's not getting aired. They're getting kicked out of the room. You're not allowed to fucking talk like that. You can't ask those questions. So yeah, 9/11 was a massive one. That was once it started to unravel and it became so clear that the wars in Afghanistan and particularly Iraq. Iraq's probably the bigger one. The wars in Iraq were sold off lies, just blatant lies. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction, just a completely debunked lie. Once that became obvious, just you lose trust. You can't lie to the world like that and then it be proven that it's a lie and people want to listen to you again. That's just not how it fucking works, man. So that was massive. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get into a gentleman, an American hero, a country Christian doctor who is probably the person who is singularly most responsible for exposing the lies around the war on terrorism. And that, my friends, is the great Dr. Ron Paul and his moment with Rudy Giuliani in the I think it's some sort of a Republican primary debate. Let's just go straight to it. This is what woke a lot of people up.
Congressman Paul, I believe you are the only man on the stage who opposes the war in Iraq, who would bring the troops home as quickly as almost immediately, sir. Are you out of step with your party? Is your party out of step with the rest of the world? If either of those is the case, why are you seeking its nomination?
Well, I think the party has lost its way because the conservative wing of the Republican Party always advocated a non-interventionist foreign policy. Senator Robert Taft didn't want to be in NATO. George Bush won the election in year 2000 campaigning on a humble foreign policy, no nation building, no policing of the world. Republicans were elected to end the Korean War. The Republicans were elected to end the Vietnam War. There's a strong tradition of being anti-war in the Republican Party. It is the constitutional position. It is the advice of the founders to follow a non-interventionist foreign policy. Stay out of entangling alliances. Be friends with countries. Negotiate and talk with them and trade with them. Just think of the tremendous improvement relationships with Vietnam. We lost 60,000 men. We came home in defeat. Now we go over there and invest in Vietnam. So there's a lot of merit to the advice of the founders and following the Constitution. And my argument is that we shouldn't go to war so carelessly. When we do, the wars don't end.
Congressman, you don't think that changed with the 9/11 attack, sir?
What changed?
The non-interventionist policies.
No, non-intervention was a major contributing factor. Have you ever read about the reasons they attacked us? They attack us because we've been over there. We've been bombing Iraq for 10 years. We've been in the Middle East. I think Reagan was right. We don't understand the irrationality of Middle Eastern politics. So right now we're building an embassy in Iraq that's bigger than the Vatican. We're building 14 permanent bases. What would we say here if China was doing this in our country or in the Gulf of Mexico? We would be objecting. We need to look at what we do from the perspective of what would happen if somebody else did it to us.
Are you suggesting we invited the 9/11 attack, sir?
I'm suggesting that we listen to the people who attacked us and the reason they did it. And they are delighted that we're over there because Osama bin Laden has said, I am glad you're over on our sand because we can target you so much easier. They have already now, since that time, have killed 3,400 of our men, and I don't think it was necessary.
Wendell, may I make a comment on that? That's really an extraordinary statement. It's an extraordinary statement as someone who lived through the attack of September 11, that we invited the attack because we were attacking Iraq. I don't think I've ever heard that before, and I've heard some pretty absurd explanations for September 11. And I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
Congressman?
I believe very sincerely that the CIA is correct when they teach and talk about blowback. When we went into Iran in 1953 and installed the Shah, yes, there was blowback. The reaction to that was the taking of our hostages, and that persists. And if we ignore that at our own risk. That if we think that we can do what we want around the world and not incite hatred, then we have a problem. They don't come here to attack us because we're rich and we're free. They come and they attack us because we're over there. I mean, what would we think if we were, if other foreign countries were doing that to us?
Can I have 30 seconds, please?
No, wait a second. We'll all get 30 seconds.
They are coming.
We all want 30 seconds to talk about this.
Wendell, go ahead. I think I'm going to turn to Senator McCain and change the subject, if I will. I don't think we're going to solve this tonight, gentlemen. An internet question for you. Senator Royce from Philadelphia asks if South Carolina should be free to fly the Confederate flag from state buildings.
You mentioned the unique that just ended like that. That's hilarious. But yeah, so to Ron Paul's point, right? So he's going, they don't attack us because we're rich and we're free, like the fucking stupid George W. Bush line. They attack us because we're so free. They attacked us because, and us as in the Americans, they attacked the Americans, committed the 9/11 attacks because we'd been over there bombing them for a decade. And anyone who's got like a memory that's like, greater than a goldfish memory, I was a baby in 1990, but a lot of these people weren't who would be listening to this at the time. They would remember George W. Bush's father, George H.W. Bush, bombing the crap out of Iraq in 1990. Saddam invaded Kuwait, and it's a long story, but as to why he even did that in the first place. But we won't go into it today. But Saddam invaded Kuwait, and then America goes, "We can't have Saddam picking on poor little Kuwait. We're going to go bomb the crap out of him," and that's what fucking happened. You think that might have pissed some people off? If you acknowledge that, then you'd be correct. Yes. When you bomb a country, you just inevitably, unavoidably are going to kill innocent people. And then when you kill innocent people, you're going to piss a lot of good people off and drive them to want to do something that they probably otherwise wouldn't want to do absent you killing their family members. People can go to dark places when you fucking kill the ones that they love. I myself, I think I'd go to a pretty dark place if someone just murdered one of my family members, one of my younger sisters or brothers. It's pretty natural human instinct, in my opinion. So just to reiterate, this is another, that moment, that Ron Paul, Rudy Giuliani moment was just one of many nails in the coffin to the official narrative and to the corporate news outlets that were pushing the official narrative, which is based on lies. And then there's many, many more to come, many, many more nails in this coffin. And at this point, this is my central thesis, is that, which is not like an original idea. Like a lot of people have come to this conclusion because it's just so fucking obvious, blatant, in your face, that the corporate news outlets, these big TV stations and newspapers, have lost so much credibility, nearly all of it, especially with young people, because they just have this track record of just lying and lying and lying all the time. Here's just another moment. So we're going to skip forward a little now. Oh, maybe actually, hang on. No, sorry. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to go to one other clip. Sorry. So yeah, this is what I wanted to back it up to, because I was about to show a clip of to do with the Trump-Russia collusion hoax bullshit crap. But this clip that I'm about to show you now, which is piggybacking off all the stuff I was just talking about with the 9/11 and all the lies around there. This is how Trump got all his support. This is how Trump became president the first time. Let's go to the clip.
Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want, and it took It took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say. And he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
Okay. All right. Governor.
What can you say? He was hitting the nail on the head there. And that's a big reason why so many people rallied around him and supported him and how he won the presidency. Largely, and I can remember this in 2016, dude. I can remember, like, I didn't really have much of an interest in politics or anything. My dad was really following it. I remember being in the car with him and he was listening to, like, one of the radio stations, and they were interviewing, they were like showing like, they're like playing clips of like American journalists interviewing just like average people on the street. I think actually they were interviewing some black people and being like, because typically in America, like largely blacks will vote Democrat. Anyway, they're interviewing some black gentlemen, and they're going like, who are you going to vote for, Trump or Hillary Clinton? And he's basically saying, something to the effect of like, look, I'm going to vote Trump. And the reason I'm going to vote Trump is because we don't really know what we're going to get with Trump, but we know we're going to get war with Hillary Clinton. That's what he said, man. And a lot of people had that feeling as well, that we know that Hillary Clinton's a war hawk and Trump's a bit of a wild card. And we're going to need to have another look at that wild card. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, next clip is this clip to do with Trump. So this is after he's just, I think he's maybe only president-elect still. Like, he hasn't actually become the president yet. But anyway, so this is a clip. I'll just play it for you, right? But like it's ramping up to, like, you know, the Russia collusion hoax, and anyway, so Chuck Schumer's on with can't remember her name. Fuck. Anyway, whatever. I'll just play the clip. Let's just play the fucking clip, eh?
Let me ask you, I don't know if you have seen this. I don't want to blindside you with this. This is the latest statement, latest tweet, as you were just saying. The president-elect's latest unsolicited pronouncement on the intelligence community. This was his tweet just a little while ago tonight. You see the scare quotes there. The intelligence briefing on so-called Russian hacking was delayed until Friday. Perhaps more time needed to build a case. Very strange. We're actually told, intelligence sources tell NBC News since this tweet has been posted, that actually this intelligence briefing for the president-elect was always planned for Friday. It hasn't been delayed. Look. But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
Let me tell you, you take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So.
Wow. You take on the intelligence community and they have 6 ways to Sunday at getting back at you. That was a real mask-off moment from old Chuck Schumer there. And Rachel Maddow, I fucking couldn't remember her stupid name, but so she says it. She's like, I don't mean to like blindside you, but here's a tweet from Donald Trump that he's just posted moments ago. What do you think of this? And Chuck Schumer goes off script and he tells you exactly what he thinks. And I think that's probably one of the more truthful things that he's ever said. Oh yeah, you want to fucking have a dig at the intelligence community, and then, you know, in hindsight, like, what do we know? What happened? They went after him. The FBI went after him. The CIA went after him. You know, they fucking tried to they really hamstrung his first administration, And I don't like Trump. I'm not fucking, whatever. Trump's fuckwit. He's fucking supporting the fucking mass slaughter in Gaza. So fuck that guy. He said he'd end the Ukraine war in one day. Fuck that guy. He's a lying scumbag. But I'm just saying, like, he helped with, let me just go back to full screen, but he really helped with dismantling the corporate news outlets and really giving us some of these mask off moments where, yeah, these people, these establishment people just fucking couldn't help themselves. They're just telling you what they really think from time to time, and what they really think is that, oh, you guys are nothing. You think you live in a democracy, and I'm not a fan of democracy, but I'm just, that's the impression that most people have, and that's not the case at all. That's not what's going on. That's not how these institutions actually function. This next clip, I can't say too much because in a previous video, I got a strike on YouTube. So I guess in Australia, there's still some heavy censorship around this topic. So I'm not going to give my opinion on what I think the lies are regarding this video. I'll just let you guys form your own opinion and come to your own conclusion about what the lies are. But let's just play the clip and see for yourself.
COVID has affected each and every one of us. But now we have a shot to get our lives back to normal.
This is our shot to protect our communities.
This is our shot to keep our borders open.
Our shot to explore the world again.
To welcome friends back to our shores.
Our shot to keep live music alive.
Our shot to keep families safe.
Our shot to keep the crowds coming.
Our shot to keep businesses open.
And people in jobs.
Our shot to reunite families.
This is our shot to help save lives.
And to bring Australians home.
Our shot to get everyone together for Christmas.
This is our shot.
This is our shot.
Our shot.
This is our shot.
This is our shot.
I've had my shot.
This is my shot.
This is my shot.
This is my shot. Come on, Australia. Let's get the job done. Start a conversation with your doctor about your shot. COVID is
I can't say much. I can't say anything. Just, okay. I think we can all acknowledge that that is just one additional nail to the coffin of the corporate media. So look, I'm going to keep this video short and I'm going to wrap it up in a minute, but I've made my case pretty clear. I think there's just been so many lies, so much propaganda that's been put out by the corporate media that no young people trust them anymore. Like I can remember getting into arguments on Facebook with friends of mine, and I'm just like arguing about the nature of government and how corrupt and fucked it is, and the corporate media just being totally bought and paid for by the state and effectively are all state media and just push whatever the state wants them to push. And then people getting into arguments with me going like, oh, no, that's not true. And then giving me like 5 or 6 different news articles to like try and prove their case as to why it's not true or why climate change really is a real thing or whatever. And it's like all these articles, he's like, here's an article on, a farmer saying climate change is real and it's affecting his business. And here's another article on some other entity people that are saying the same thing. And then like what was just so obvious is like every single article that he shared with me was state funded media. Like every single one was ABC. They were all ABC articles. And I'm just like, oh, like if you can't see what's going on here and how this is not really proving your point and more proving my point, then I don't know what to say to you, dude. Like I can't really help you at that point. And I wish at that time I pointed that out to him, but I just think like he was such a He was someone who I considered like a good friend, and I didn't want to get too deep in the weeds with him. So I sort of just like, I don't think I responded, but I should have. I should have just been like, dude, like, every article you've just sent me is an ABC article. Literally taxpayer-funded fucking media in Australia. So yeah, this is, and I think like why I chose to do this video and why I wanted to talk about this phenomenon of like young people just not listening to any of the corporate news outlets at all, or anyone like associated with them, is because like I think it helps explain why someone like a Nick Fuentes is rising to such prominence. And I don't think Nick gets everything right, but I think he gets a lot of things right. I think the thing with Nick too is that, you know, he's telling the truth as he sees it. He's not lying to you. He's telling you what he thinks. And that's non-existent in the corporate news world, but is everywhere on the internet. And that explains why so many young people are going to the internet to get their news. It's just a fact. So yeah, guys like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Dave Smith, all these people, you know, there's a litany of them. There's a massive list of them. They're having so much success because they're doing their best to get to the truth. That's what it is. All right, I'm gonna get going. I got to do a little bit of editing because I fucking did something stupid. I was like talking while my mic was muted. That really threw me. Yeah, a bit pissed off about that. But anyway, you won't know about that. But thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Please like the video if you like what I had to say, or you know, sort of my show that I'm doing here. Please share the video. Would really appreciate that. Would mean a lot to me and help me out massively. And leave a comment. Give us some feedback. Do you agree with what I'm saying here? Do you disagree? Is there anything I left out? I mean, I didn't bother getting into this because I ran out of time, but you know, like there's so many more lies, big ones, big, crucial, pivotal moments that the corporate media just lied to us about. You know, the war in Ukraine, like Russia's motivations, why they invaded Ukraine in the first place. You know, the slaughter in Gaza is a massive one. This is a big reason why people are waking up to what's going on. And the fact that the corporate news media just lies to them constantly about everything. Like none of this would have got through. None of these truths would have got through but for the internet and people being able to watch this shit in fucking 4K on their phones. So those two things are massive. Israeli influence in the United States, that's really being exposed online. You're not going to get those opinions and those truths through, you know, the status quo conventional corporate news outlets like the New York Times or Channel 9 in Australia, Sky News, Fox News. You're not going to get that. That's not where these truths are coming from. They're coming online. That's where you're going to get the most truthful information and a lot of these things being exposed. So again, thanks everyone. Like, share, comment. Really appreciate it. Much love. Have a great rest of the week, everyone, and catch you next time. Peace.